They say a mother would do anything for her child. But what if death came too soon? It was a bitter, windswept night when a mother sat alone beside the cradle of her ailing child. The little one was pale and feverish, his breathing shallow. She had wept for so long her tears had dried up, and now she sat frozen in silent vigil, eyes wide and unmoving. The clock ticked on. The candle burned low. Then, quietly, almost gently, the door creaked open and a stranger stepped inside. He wore a dark cloak and carried a stillness with him, like the hush before a snowfall. She did not need to ask his name. "I am Death," he said, "and I have come for your child." The mother gasped and reached for the cradle, but it was empty. Death had already taken the child and vanished into the night. "No," she cried, "not him, not my baby." And she fled into the snow-covered forest, barefoot, her hair loose and wild, driven by a love that knew no limits. She ran until her lungs burned and her feet bled, but she would not stop. She would find Death and plead, bargain, do anything to get her child back. At the edge of the woods, she came upon a thorn bush. "You'll have to give me your blood," said the bush. "Warm me with your pain, and I'll tell you which way Death went." Without hesitation, she pressed her arms into the thorns. Blood ran down her skin and fed the roots, and the thorn bush bloomed in the dead of winter. "Go toward the lake," it whispered. Death passed that way. At the lake's edge, she found a great sheet of black ice. The water beneath was dark and bottomless. "You may cross," said the lake, "but you must give me your eyes, for I thirst for tears, and you have none left to give." The mother, trembling, pressed her hands to her face and gave her eyes to the water. Now blind, she stumbled forward across the frozen lake, guided only by the howling wind and her aching heart. When she reached the other side, she found herself at the edge of a vast greenhouse, warm and alive, with 1,000 whispering plants. Inside, Death stood among the flowers, each one cradled in a glass bell. Some were in full bloom, others wilted. Each was a human soul. "Which is my child?" the mother asked, groping through the humid air. Death did not answer. Instead, he guided her to 2 plants. One lush, its leaves trembling with life, the other weak, barely clinging to its final breath. "If I return one to the earth," said Death, "one of these souls will live, and one will die. Would you choose blindly? Could you?" The mother hesitated. Her heart screamed for her child. But she could not, would not trade one innocent life for another. Her arms dropped to her sides. She wept again, though now without eyes, her sobs were dry and hollow. Then Death touched her gently. "You have suffered